This is important because we are not getting enough. And you talk about long-ranging, long-reaching health benefits. This is associated with so many.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about vitamin D3, we're talking about an ingredient that when I first started my company in 1979, and one of the hallmarks of our multivitamins was we put extra vitamin D in. I got so much flack from doctors and experts, right. and yet here we are. The level of vitamin D that I put in my products back in 1979 is now the RDA. I always put a minimum of 1,000 in all my multivitamins. So at that time, and again, I wasn't going out on a limb. I wasn't
right.
taking a risk. I was reading the science. Just no one else was bothering to read the science. They were all delivering 200 or 400 IU. So unfortunately, vitamin D3 is one of those nutrients not available in even the healthiest diet, even the worst diet, not available in any diet, unfortunately. The only way you're getting vitamin D3 is if a food was fortified, basically a supplement, or if you're taking a supplement. What's great about vitamin D3, I could speak all day long about the potential benefits of vitamin D3 to just virtually every measure of long-term health. But usually, if you talk about something and lavish so much praise on it, it's usually really expensive. And what's exciting about vitamin D3, it's great to be in all the products we're talking about today. It's great to be talking about a product and have so many positive things to say about it, yet to be able to say that not only is this the lowest price it's ever been, this might be the lowest capsule cost I've ever had on any capsule I've ever made in the history of my company. That we're talking about less than 7 cents a capsule. Less than 7 cents a capsule, about 6 cents, about a nickel a capsule. I've seen empty capsules in health food stores, empty capsules that you could fill on your own that cost more than that. So it's just an incredible opportunity. 720 capsules, that's again, basically a 2-year supply. A 2-year supply at $49, that's about $2 a month. So again, in $2 a month. If you go to, I mean, even I think a plain coffee is about $2.
Yes, it is.
I think if you're going to get one of those fancy blended coffees, it's going to be about $5, $6, $7.
Sure.
That's 3 months of vitamin D.
Right.
And you could pick your potency, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. What I mentioned about vitamin D3 that most people don't realize, some people take vitamin D3 if they're going to take, say, 3,000 IU a day. I take about 4,000 IU a day. What they might opt to do is to take 10,000 IU twice a week.
Right.
So vitamin D3 is one of those vitamins that you could dose in that fashion. I like to dose it evenly, but a lot of times some folks will even go to their doctor because they can't find a vitamin D3 supplement that works for them.
Sure.
And their doctor maybe once a month will give them a shot of 50,000 IU.
Okay.
So again, with our vitamin D3, you should read the reviews. Like our K2M, K7, like our CalMag Intensive Care, it's a virtually perfectly reviewed product. Probably over 95% of the reviews are positive and over 90% are 5-star reviews. I think it's 4.8 stars or something like that. It's a vitamin D3 product that if you read the reviews, there's probably a few hundred that say, yeah, I tried every vitamin D product I get my hands on. Yeah. My vitamin D level never changed. My doctor was worried. Finally, I decided, what the heck, I saw this guy in a blue shirt on TV, I thought I'd try his vitamin D, and lo and behold, it worked. And that's because every product we make, we test. We want to make sure that the vitamin D is in the product, it's bioavailable in the product, so it's going to benefit for you, going to be beneficial for you. What good is a product if it's not going to deliver the benefit that you seek? And even more importantly, if it's hard to swallow, if it upsets your stomach. I mean, why make a vitamin D tablet? I see these large vitamin D tablets that are 99.99% additives probably when you end up with a large vitamin D tablet, when it just needs to be a little tiny dosage form. Look at that size of that capsule, especially if you compare it to our calcium capsule.
Mini-me, look at it. It's
so, and that's a small capsule, our calcium capsule, but it gives you a sense of how tiny that vitamin D capsule is. Anybody could swallow it. And again, they all just contain an ultrafine powder, so it instantly is available. Because one thing you have to remember, you put a vitamin like D3 in a tablet, you put calcium or magnesium in a tablet, you basically created a rock, and you basically imprison that precious nutrient, that precious vitamin or those precious minerals. you imprison them in that tablet. And the only way your body is going to get to use them is somehow if you liberate them. Meaning that you break down that tablet in its entirety, you take its very constituents and put them into solution. Not just break down the granules, but put them in solution. Otherwise, you just found out why those tablets so often don't benefit anyone. The only one they benefit are the companies selling them. If you're going to make a product that's going to be beneficial, the ideal way to go, the way consumers, the way the people who use them prefer them, is in a capsule. That's why even in pharmaceuticals, I get a kick out of it when I see it. They'll gelatin coat a tablet and they'll call it a gel cap.
Right.
And just because they know that consumers prefer swallowing something that's a capsule.
Yeah.
What's interesting is I recently did a little bit of a water fast, and I do fast every once in a while. But while I was doing the water fast, I wanted to take like a little salt tablet just to make sure that I got the electrolytes I needed.
Yeah.
It was a tiny little tablet, but it was a tablet. I never take tablets. I couldn't swallow it. I just couldn't swallow a tablet. It just was flying around my mouth. It just was getting stuck in places. Meanwhile, with my capsules, I could take a handful of capsules, pop them in my mouth, swallow them with a tiny bit of water.
Yeah.
Because I'm like you, capsules go down easy. Tablets are a nightmare. And if you think tablets are a nightmare in your mouth, imagine the nightmare of that rock in your stomach. That's why they cause an upset stomach. So again, our vitamin D, we'll talk about CalMag Intensive Care. We deliver it so it's going to give you all the benefits you seek and no problems.
We're not getting enough vitamin D. Wintertime, we're certainly not getting enough vitamin D. For many of us, we're not particularly active or as mobile as we used to be. For many of us, we don't step out of the house as much as we used to do. So it's important that we supplement our vitamin D, and this gives you the opportunity. Fantastic pricing. One last look, folks. $49 for the largest size is perhaps the lowest I have ever seen, and the best pricing in 40 years.
No, it's exactly. I've been making vitamin D, and I've been really a proponent of vitamin D because I've been reading the science that if you're not supplementing it, 80 to 100% of us are deficient or insufficient. It's a serious wake-up call, a serious alarm. But we have never had a price this low on vitamin D, where it's about 6 cents a capsule. So it's so affordable. Even if you get the 3,000 IU and just took 2 capsules a week, that is life-changing in terms of your vitamin D levels if you're not supplementing vitamin D. I think you should take it every day, but it's an opportunity to so affordably, even at 2 capsules a week, it becomes, what is that, a couple of pennies a day.
Absolutely. No money. No money. We've got a lot to do and only 5 minutes left. I know there's 5 today's specials, and even when Andrew and